Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, and welcome to the next video of this technical analysis series. Today, we'll be talking about one of the god particles of technical analysis, volume. What is it and what does it do? And I'm bringing you over here to the live scene after viewing that beautifully sexy Bitcoin video right there. Anyways, what is volume? What does it represent? Volume quite literally represents the amount of the underlying traded. Now, there are two contingencies with this. Most exchanges measure their volume in coins traded. If you're on any exchange like Bitfinex, Coinbase, GDAX, Bitstamp, Binance, they are going to measure things in the actual amount of coins traded. Now, with that said, there are a couple exchanges that do measure it in dollars traded, both Deribit and BitMEX, which I absolutely love. Deribit a little bit more so. I do have affiliate links for them in the description of this video, as always. Don't want to forget that, as it does benefit you by taking some off your trading fees. But those will measure their volume in dollars traded. So two slight contingencies there, not super important to understand, but you do want to understand, how the underlying is being measured over here. Okay, so where even is the volume over here? Well, it's these bars down here, these little equalizer-like bars at the bottom of your screen. And you'll notice this pink line kind of running around it. That is a moving average on the volume. And I'm just going to bring this up. The input is simply just a 20 simple moving average. I've made mine a little bit more pretty because I'm a visual person. And essentially, that volume average lets you know if the current volume of whatever candlestick you're looking at is relatively high or relatively low within the context of the surrounding environment. So volume. Okay, let's get into a little bit more detailed here. As again, this is an introductory video, so I don't want to go too deep, but these are the things that are very important to know, as volume has become a little bit of a meme in the good old YouTube world, as people love to talk about volume this, volume that. Well, this is one of those things where I really do think it's important to state volume is a measurement of participation, meaning that when you have higher volume, it means that there's agreement, there's conviction within the market. When you have lower volume, not so much. Now, on top of that, we'll just go one deeper right quick over here. When volume is essentially descending over a period of time, that is usually a sign of consolidation. Now, that's maybe another topic that we need to discuss in a future video. And when volume is increasing, typically that's telling you where the actual direction does indeed lie. Now, of course, this is a very, very elementary explanation of this, but it does cover this for the purposes of this video. And let's just talk quickly about what constitutes big volume. Well, first things first, anything that stands out above this this volume moving average, this pinkish line, is significant within the overall scheme of things. But whenever we have a major spike like this, major spike like this, major spike like this, all these guys, that is telling us huge information, very, 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 very significant information about what's going on in price action. Whenever I see a market shifting move come into play, I want to see higher volume accompany it. Now you'll notice over here on this one that stands out very, 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 very prominently, it correlates with this candlestick right here, which was actually the big low, perhaps even capitulation, off of this 20,000 high over here. The downtrend ending and culminating with this major, and if you viewed the candlestick for video first, then you know that this is a hammerish type formation on extremely heavy volume. Well, there you go. You got something that is indicative of perhaps a market bottom. And for the time being, it gave you a damn good bottom, a nice local low as we call it, as you did rally about $6,000 above there. So you'll notice that a lot of the bottoms being put in the market are done on heavy volume. This guy right here, this guy right here, and of course the one that we just looked at right here. You'll notice that this guy right here, which doesn't look too big in the current context of price action, but if we zoom in just a little bit right here, this was actually a $5,000 candlestick. It represents $5,000 on extremely heavy volume, and you do rally up and above there soon after that very, very nicely. So I believe that's going to cover it for this introduction to volume. I hope this video finds you well. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and take care.